Welcome back to AM. Great to have you with us. It is 6 minutes away from 7 on your Thursday morning. What is the future of the Inter-Island ferry service? The government has pulled the plug on KiwiRail's $1.47 billion funding request. That's to top up to $3 billion, the new estimate. The money would have enabled KiwiRail to upgrade the Picton and Wellington ferry terminals and introduce 2 new big ferries by 2026, but the government says no. Finance Minister Nicola Willis is the one that said so, and she's with us this morning. Morena, good morning.
Morena.
Are you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how peeved are you about the cost blowout and the fact that basically taxpayers are going to pay $400 million for nothing?
Look, I'd much rather this problem never landed on my desk. I'd much rather we had a simple value for money solution and the ferries were just going to be delivered on time, on budget. But in government, you have to deal with the reality of the situations you are left to deal with. And with this one, I've got to make sure we get reliable, safe ferry services into the future, but in a way that provides good value for money. Because every dollar we spend on redeveloping ports and terminals and boats in excess of what's required is a dollar we can't spend on schools, on hospitals, on the roads across the country that need replacing. So we've got to do this in a way that provides the best value for money possible.
And I get that, but do you accept that we have basically just lost $400 million?
Well, I think there is important questions to be asked and answered about how it came to this, because this is a project that has blown out at regular intervals. It's a project that has wildly diverged from what it was meant to be at the beginning. At the beginning, it was meant to be about replacing ships, but now actually that's only 20% of the cost. The other 80% is all about redeveloping terminals for extremely large boats, so terminals that many other users wouldn't have been able to use, which wasn't what a lot of people hoped for at the beginning.
Given that, do you have confidence in KiwiRail to deliver anything? I mean, particularly a large capital project like this. I mean, once bitten, twice shy, surely.
I have confidence that we can work together to find a way forward. I do want to get others involved in solving this problem. KiwiRail, by their own admission, are not marine engineers. They're not port experts. They're not experts at building wharves. So I want to make sure we have the right people involved. I also have to acknowledge that KiwiRail aren't always going to be best placed to work out what's best for taxpayers, for ferry passengers, for freight passengers. They're going to be the best people to work out what's best for KiwiRail's passengers and freight, but we need to take a look at the bigger picture and work with all of the people involved here.
When you say you want to get other people involved, what are you talking about? And is it possible that we could have a separate entity doing capital projects that would then be operated by KiwiRail?
Look, there are a lot of options on the table. My first step is to get experts around the table, experts at developing infrastructure on time and on budget, experts on transport projects, experts who will help me ensure that I don't fall into the same money trap that the last government did, where a project was allowed to quadruple in cost and the cheques just had to keep on being written.
Which means,
New Zealand
surely,
has
Minister, surely that means it won't be whatever comes next. It won't be KiwiRail building it, because you can't throw good money after bad. You can't go down the same track the last government did with this lot.
I think KiwiRail will have a role to play, but my message to KiwiRail has been the Ferrari is not the only car in the garage. I know that the big ship solution that they came up with was their preference, but I think it's time we had a look and see if there's a Toyota Corolla, good reliable one, that might be able to do the job, or maybe some second-hand Teslas. We've got to look at other options that present a more affordable way forward for New Zealand.
Minister, just finally, do you know exactly what the cost increase was down to? Because it wasn't the ferries themselves. Everyone's saying, oh, this is a ferry cost increase. Nothing to do with that. It's landside stuff. Do you know exactly what was behind the increase in cost? And is it anything to do with the way that KiwiRail has staged its approach to the project?
Yeah, look, it's nothing to do with the ferry costs. In fact, there was a fixed price contract for the ferry, so that cost hasn't changed. What it's about is the fact that at the beginning, in my view, KiwiRail didn't properly look at what are we going to have to do to take these enormous ships. We haven't had ships this big for ferry use in the past, so that then requires bigger wharves, bigger terminals, and all of the work that goes with that. And I don't think they properly assessed the costs of that before they committed to buying these particular ships. And it's my view that if they thought all of that through properly, and if the government had thought all of that through properly, they would have gone, $3 billion, there's a better way.
Now that we are $400 million in the hole, do you think someone should resign?
Look, for me, this is about finding a way forward. We knew that these ships weren't going to arrive until 2026 at the earliest, so our job now is to ensure KiwiRail properly maintains our existing ferry service and to move quickly so that as those boats reach their end of life, we've got a good, reliable alternative so that New Zealanders can get across the strait, freight can get across the strait, and we can rely on that into the future. So that's my focus, getting a solution.
It's Finance Minister Nicola Willis on our Cook Strait crossing. You're watching AM at 7 o'clock.